Welcome. Did you ever wonder what happened to 98462? What happened to the red engines? How Sodor was built? Well, I've come to inform you that it's about to get confirmed. Welcome to the... It's about 1914 when the Northwestern...
The year was 1914, when the Northwestern Railway was first produced. There weren't many engines, and there were a lot of passengers, but they didn't mind that.
And the more engines that traveled, the more and heavier the passenger coaches got. There were many different types of engines. There were the coffee pots, the Sodor mainline engines, the Wellsworth and Suttery engines.
Oh yes,
also
and
visiting engines
of course,
from other
how could I forget?
railways.
The experimental engines.
Who was this, you ask? Well, her name is Lady. She's a prototypical tank engine. She was one of the first engines ever built. She was proud of this, but she wasn't arrogant. The humble little tank engine didn't know that she would get a new coat of paint and a lot of modifications in her later years. But that's another story. But as the years went by, the work became harder and harder with less engines. More passengers came, making the engine's wheels run dry. They needed more coal and more water for how hard they were working. Uphill, downhill, stopping at every station. Caused them to get sick, feeling depressed
This would
and
cause
worried
them
and hard worked and tired. I've come to deliver a message for Sir Topham Hatt due to him feeling sick. He signed a contract saying that he can loan 2 engines from the other railway. One is from Brighton and the other one is from the Furness Railway. Hooray! Said the engines. I wonder who those 2 engines are. But that's another story, my dear friends. See you next time. It was 1894 on the Furness Railway. The engines that were living there were working very hard to please their controllers. But for the more engines that used to travel on the Furness Railway,
Sure, this meant more money, but this also meant that more coaches had to be added to the train. Sometimes these coaches were too much weight for the little engines to pull and push around. Sometimes they would go straight through the station without stopping, or overshoot the platform. The passengers did not like this at all. The engines and the coaches were worried. If they didn't do their best, they would end up in the scrap heap. They didn't want that. "Those poor tank engines," said the controller of the railway. "They're working so hard." Let's face it, these tank engines aren't doing the trick. I mean, they probably are, but there's so many people and so much heavy loads. They can't take it. But that's when the controller remembered. He had a friend that could build a new engine for him. "Yes, I'll call him at once." "Hello, Atlas? Yes, I would like to talk to you." "Oh, you're not Atlas? Then where is he? Can I speak to him?" "Okay, yeah, hey Atlas, buddy, I need some help. I need you to help me build a new engine." "Wait, all I have to do is just go to your place and just show you the blueprints?" "Oh, you're not building an engine right now?" "Oh, okay. I'll be over there tomorrow." "Hello. Hi. Have you seen Atlas anywhere? I'm his bodyguard. He's feeling sick right now. He'd come down with the flu. He just said, since he's not building any new engines at the moment, just show me the blueprints, and then as soon as they get accepted and approved, then you can build your engine in his spare works." "Okay. What's it called?" "Duh, it's called Atlas Works." "Now show me the blueprints." These blueprints seem to be the prints of a prototypical engine. "Yes, so can I build them?" Though this could lead to the end of your railway, I like your creativity. Approved. Yay. Where's the Atlas Works? I will send an engine to take you there." "Okay, here are the plans. This engine looks strange. Is this some sort of tank engine?" "No, it's not a tank engine." "Yes, according to the plan's name, it's called a tender engine. It's a tender engine." "It's a tender engine, Bob." "Oh, okay. So what color would you like it to be?" "Red." "Any logos on the tender?" "Yes, a giant F and a giant R. Stands for Furnace Railway." I see. And this is a tank engine?" "No, Bob." Oh my gosh, you're so dumb. With that stupidity, you should have your own show called Bob the Builder. You have the personality for it. "Okay. When would you like this engine done? As soon as possible. My railway is slipping." "Oh, okay. We'll have it to you by next year." "Okay, fair enough. This is your first time building a tender engine, so... I mean, it's just 1895, so okay. "Okay, I'll be back in a year." "Okay." Furnace Railway, the engines were talking. "Where's the controller? I didn't see him for a long time. Well, at least for a week," said a tank engine. "I say he must have left on purpose," said the only male tank engine. "I heard he went to Atlas Works to build a tender engine. Whatever that is. I hope he's a man. I hope he's a boy. I hope he's a male, 'cause he'll look handsome." "I'm a male, and you think I'm handsome.
so many reasons why. You're rude, you're mean, you're smelly, you look like me, and you boast too much, and I find you unattractive. The male tank engine didn't say anything after that, but secretly he was excited to meet the new engine. Gathered around. The new engine's finally here, said the controller, and here he comes now. Engine is Johnson? No, not Johnson. He just woke up. The new engine's on the other side of that shed. The real new engine! Greetings, engines. I am Furnace K2 Largest Seagull Tender Engine FR Class K2. I just said that, but you can call me Edward. Wait a minute, is my tender turned backwards? Ugh. See, this is what happens when you pay idiots to build you. Well, anyway, I'm Edward. Yes, you heard him, everyone. That's Edward. Hello. Well, Edward, it's time for you to get to work. Yay! Will anyone volunteer to help Edward out? Julia, since Edward kind of bumped into you, you could do it. Okay, come on, Edward. I'll show you to the coach siding. They brought Edward to the coach siding. Edward, as a thanks for coming to our railway, we got you some brand new coaches. I love brand new coaches. Ugh. My joints feel a little bit stiff. Don't worry, Edward. Let's oil that for you. Edward's joints were oiled and greased. Then he backed up to go get his coaches. You the new addition to our family? We got you some brand new coaches. Thank you. They look so lovely. Oh, trust me, they are. They're prototypical, don't you know? Just like you. Edward came up to the coaches very gently and very kindly. There you go, my dears, said Edward. Oh, what a sweet new red engine, they said. Attaboy, Edward. Slow and steady wins the race, I like to say. Other engines like to bump these coaches, but I don't, because I feel like they have feelings too. They say that they bump them because they don't have faces, so therefore they don't have feelings. I personally don't believe that. I actually find that quite mean of them to say. Don't worry, they don't get it, said Edward kindly. Edward left for the station. Julia wasn't sure whether to be shocked or amazed. He's gonna do just fine, she said happily. Engines, I have some news to tell you. It's not very good news. Edward, you've worked so well on this railway. I have decided to loan you to another railway. Wait, what? Why? Don't worry, Edward, it's not just you who's leaving. I'm very sorry, but all of you are leaving. Why? You're all on loan. Well, at least most of you. Julia, you're going to a museum. I told them that you are the most reliable and kind-hearted engine I know, and I want everyone to know you. The rest of you, you're all going to the Bluebell Railway to work. The engines were very sad. They didn't want to leave each other. The other engines went away to go pack, but Edward and Julia stayed. Why, sir? I don't want to leave. I'm sorry, Edward, but I confirmed the contract. I'm very, very sorry. So you and a few other engines from other railways will be going to an island named Sodor. Oh, okay. But sir, yes, Edward, can I take my brand new coaches? Of course. I heard they lack things there. You can go help them. Julia? Yes, Edward, said Julia when the Fat Controller left. There's something I have to tell you. Wait. I'm too upset to process it, so tell me when you're leaving. Okay. Next day, they were about to leave. Now, about that thing I wanted to tell you, blushed Edward. Smiled. She could tell by Edward's sweaty buffers and his blushing face that he wanted to tell her something personal. Don't worry, Edward. You can tell me as soon as we meet again. But what if we never meet again? I can't live without telling you. Oh, Edward, don't worry. Our time will come. And she kissed him on the cheek. Oh, exclaimed Edward. Then, bye. Emily snickered and puffed away, leaving Edward a loss for words. You're a woman. I better start heading for Sodor. I wonder what adventures I will get through there, so whenever I see her again, I can tell her all about my adventures. I wonder if anything major's gonna happen to me. But little did young Edward know that he would be accompanied by a small tank engine who wanted to see the world. But that's another story. Thomas is a tank engine who lived at the station on the RWSA. He was a cheeky little engine with 6 small wheels, a short stumpy funnel, a short stumpy dome, and a short stumpy boiler. The year was 1915, and Thomas was just built. He was proud of his new railway and his new job. Being a tank engine and station pilot means a lot of responsibilities. Thomas was a proud little tank engine. He thought that no one could do his work better than him. He loved collecting coaches. He can sometimes act occasionally impatient and careless. Oh, groaned the coaches. You bumped us too hard. You bumped us too hard, they grumbled. Oh, do stop grumbling and come on, said Thomas cheekily. The coaches were very mad at Thomas. They were annoyed that Thomas would always be so rough with them. Thomas had lots of brothers. He loved his brothers a lot, but they would sometimes get on his nerves. Our own personality, Thomas would boast to himself. Thomas was the youngest one, the optimistic one. Then there was Caleb, the
cocky one. Aiden, the happy one. That was Chris, the happy one. The clever one. He was happy and clever. He would usually boast about him having two personalities, but the other brothers would think that was weird. Finally, there was William. He was the proud one, the one that would encourage the other brothers to do their best. You know what the brothers all had in common? They were all very cheeky and liked to play jokes and pranks on each other. Wake up, brothers! I have some news! What was so important that you dragged me out of bed? Grumbled Caleb. Overheard our controller. He's gonna sell us to different railways. We will never see each other again. Everybody gasped. No, that can't be so. I mean, we were having such a good time here, said. William was worried about Aiden. I'm sure it isn't what you think, said William. Oh yeah, said Aiden, then where's Timothy? He went to that Northwestern Railway, I think. No one cares, grumbled Caleb. You dragged me out of bed just to talk nonsense? I'm going back to bed. Oh, shut up, Caleb. Just go to bed. Let the adults handle this. Humph, said Caleb. I think I will. Then he raced back to the sheds. He was still worried, but William comforted him. Don't worry, Aiden. We'll see better tomorrow, I suppose. The others went away, but the controller didn't give Thomas a job. He didn't think much of it. William's right. We'll probably see better tomorrow. He can't possibly sell us. The next day, the controller asked Thomas and the rest of his brothers to come join him at a station. What is this about? Thomas asked Caleb. I don't know. It must be something really important to drag me out of bed again. Nothing ever good happens for me, grumbled Caleb. I know what's happening, said Aiden in a very worried manner. He sounded like he was about to cry. We're getting sent away, he whimpered. Don't worry about it, said William. I told you, what you think you saw isn't what you think. I'm sure there's a rational explanation for all of this. William is usually right, said Chris. It's probably a rational, reasonable explanation for all of this. After all, he is usually right, and so am I. After all, I do have two personalities. You know you're weird, right? Yawned Caleb. Yeah. My life is so sad. I've come to give you a very sad and depressing message. You're all being shipped away. What? Said all the engines at the same time.